Welcome back to Mystic Nine. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. All that you do is greatly appreciated, and it never goes unnoticed, not the least bit. I'm going to say all praises due to the Most High. I share to the ancestors of light, known and unknown. I want to thank the spirit team and the archangels for guiding us and protecting us on this journey to ascension. I want to ask the archangels to protect this reading from any outside or negative influences seeking to impact this message or read in a negative form or fashion. Ashe, and thank you. So with that being said, I am just waking up not too long ago. If my voice is a little raspy, but I'm going to try to get this message out. And I ask that the Most High channels this message and allows me to clearly get this message across to the collective, because I'm trying my hardest to bring this. It's like I understand what they're saying to me, but it's easier to channel the information in versus put the information out. So I'm going to try to speak it and use cards if I can. So I'm not sure what feasible means, but I'm hearing feasible. So I'm gonna look and see what feasible means. But this message is about the mind, in a sense, mind over matter. Feasible, possible to do easily or conveniently. Okay, so this goes with the message, possible to do or easily or conveniently. And it definitely goes with this message that I am about to share. So I've been getting this download about the mind. It may have been over a few weeks or a month, and how malleable it is or easily persuaded, right? That the mind is. Give me a second. How easily persuaded that the mind is, and how, if the mind being the garden, I'm going to shuffle the Secret Language of Light deck while I was talking. This is where I was guided to go. If the mind is not governed correctly, it can be controlled and, in a sense, tormented. Or if the mind is not strong, if it's not controlled, so authentic truth had fell out. So if the mind is not governed by you, and you do not have control over you and your authentic truth and what it is that you believe, 333, you will easily be persuaded to believe false beliefs or false narratives. So the whole idea of what I believe that I'm getting is, the whole idea of the Matrix is to control the mind, to control the perception of the viewer or the avatar. So there's constant mind manipulation going on, constant subliminal messages being put out, things to control the mental. I'm hearing there's things in the food also to help control the mind or keep the mind docile, or to have you unbalanced. Spirit, bring the message through. Bring the message through, Most High. Bring the message through. So if you are not governing the mental, meditation, eating right, staying in tune, connected to your higher self, staying connected to the sun and the cycles of life, you will easily be controlled by the matrix or put in the matrix with which the matrix is only, it's kind of like a big MK Ultra in a sense, because all is mind. So if they can affect the mind or control the mind, they can control your reality. So I'm getting into what I kept really getting is that, like, throughout a day or throughout your lifetime, you are plugging in and out of different realities. So these individuals who have this esoteric knowledge or whatever the case may be, they understand that all is mind, that everything is mental. They understand this. So their objective is to control the mind, to control the way that one thinks. Where was I? I can't pull it up, but I'll say it this way. I was thinking of how people say things like, I will kill for them shoes. You know what I mean? Or us, younger generation, a lot of black people, when something is hilarious to us, we say, I'm dying. Like, I'm dying. I'm cracking the fuck up. I'm dying. And it's allowed me to realize that these people, masters of the craft of spell work, of mind control, of science, of quantum physics, these individuals have built a matrix where you kind of imprison yourself and they don't have to do much. So just by our language throughout the day, in our thoughts throughout the day, what we're taking in, sensory perception, we are either tapping into certain realities or creating certain realities, 717, depending on how powerful we are. So me being an individual with a lot of planets in the third house of Gemini being the mind, you may want to check your birth chart and see what's there. I feel like I'm a mind over matter type of individual. I feel like what I think will manifest because of my focus in this lifetime is the mind. Is the mind. It's the mind. That's my focus. This is what I need to understand, is that how the mind works, how the mind manifests, and that the mind is all that there really is. It's the mind. The mind is projecting the body. You know what I mean? The mind is projecting outward the reality that we are, in a sense, processing through our interactions on a day-to-day basis in this world. So I like to tell, when I'm talking to people and I'm trying to give them motivation, I like to tell them that, keep me on track, spirit, keep me on track. Relay the message, relay the message. I like to tell these individuals that I like to speak on how the mind is a very powerful tool, and it takes me back to where people would say, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, right? Which sounds so cliche, but it's really not cliche. It's really, really not cliche. It's actually very, very true. So with that being said, I feel like through each day or through each cycle, because we're going through mini cycles, small cycles within bigger cycles, reminds me of the macro and the micro, the micro and the macro. But when you are rising up for that day, I feel like the mind's never done creating. Even when you fall asleep, those realities or of those thoughts and things that's in your mind and in your subconscious are still being created, and now they're being created on other dimensions. But needless to say, I like to tell people that when you start your day, when you're rising up, right? Look at the world or what's outside of you as, I'm not sure if pixels would be the words. It's crazy because I split the deck. We have inner voice here. Authentic truth and inner voice. So this is crazy because this is what I'm about to get into. So inner voice, also the voice. When you get up, if you could see reality broken down into like little fractals or fragments or pixels, little pieces that are kind of like alternating and vibrating and they're not solid. And by your thoughts and the words you are speaking, you are creating or manifesting your next 24 hours or your next cycle of experience. So, for example, waking up in the morning, see, 11:11, the morning, we're not mourning, but this is a part of why we are creating these realities, because we have been programmed or taught a language that is kind of a language of doom. Hello, hell. Hello, good morning. Or that's why I like to say grand rising. Or for instance, I'm broke, or I'm sick, I'm this. What are you putting after the I am, right? Is what you're manifesting into your reality. It's also what you're becoming. So if we could find an authentic truth, the authentic truth being that I am the all and the all being me, and that through my thoughts and feelings do I create reality. If we can allow that to become an authentic truth for us, that it's not so much what's going on around me. I can see the external, but can I see the internal that's creating the external first? Meaning, when something's going wrong on the outside of us, can we stop and realize that this is not actually something that's happening outside of us, because there's nothing outside of us? Can we then go within inner voice and listen to the higher self, 1313, or the most high, speak to us through meditation, whatever the case may be, and correct whatever thinking has brought us to the reality that we are now living? Why is this so important, 333? The reason this is so important is because if you let your mind be governed by others, you also allow your reality to be governed by those individuals as well. There was a video that was put out by Nasir Ra, who I love dearly. And he was speaking of the coming chaos of the planet, in a sense. Like, like geomagnetic storms, different storms, and different things like this, right? And it really made me, really made me think, is this a reality that we're choosing to plug into? The destruction of Earth? I could understand science, I could understand human resonance, I could understand these things. But is it still a reality that we have plugged into by the years of these movies they created, like Y'all know that movie back in the day. It was like, was it 2012? And then everything was being destroyed by these crazy storms and things like this. Were we being given a reality to ponder? And because they know the power of the mind, 1515. Because they know the power of the mind, they put it out there for us to digest, because a lot of us didn't understand the power of our mind. Then we have individuals as like us, if you're tuned into my, channel, listening to this video right now, we now have that as a mental image in our mind. And are we manifesting those things? Are they plugging us into a certain reality to experience? And if so, are you just as capable to pull out of that reality and plug into a new reality? Is this what it means to move into the fifth dimension? Let's dig deeper. If all is mind, and mind is over matter, does that not mean that mind creates matter, shapes matter? Let's dig deeper. If they had made a bunch of movies of the world being in peace, and we didn't see these storm movies and things of that nature, we just seen, that's confirmation right there. This is confirmation. And mind you, the first word was feasible that I heard channeled, and it says possible to do easily or conveniently. So this is something that's easy to do for them, because they understand the workings and the mechanics of the mind. So if they only displayed movies, being told to shuffle as I'm about to speak this, that were of love, and they showed images of people holding hands and getting along in the world and helping elderly people down steps, and just overall a higher vibrating world, and we put that image in our minds. Look, expansion 44. Wow. Expansion number 44. What are we allowing them to expand our consciousness on? 1818. Are they, because if you look at this image, it's almost like frequencies being downloaded into the mind, right? What are we allowing them to enter into our energetic field, into our consciousness, and then allowing them to plug in, we have to plug into it, is what I'm getting. So we have to choose to plug into this reality. All they can do is put it there, but we have to choose to plug into the reality. You understand me? We have to choose to plug in. We have to choose to go see the movie. Then before you know it, a lot of people are having nightmares, which lets you know it's in your mind, which lets you know it's something that's not on a vibrational match to you. What have they been expanding our consciousness with all these years? Doom and gloom, murder. This is what they have been putting inside the mind. So this is what the mind is creating. This is what the mind has absorbed, and this is what the mind is seeing. Now, for those who choose to plug out, to pull the plug out, and not, so there's individuals who may have seen a movie like 2012 and said, I don't ever want to watch something like that again. Never. Meaning They chose to opt out on creating that reality or seeing things through that lens. So they opt out. I never want to see that again. I never want to experience that again. Let us not forget that we experience, in a sense, our mind, our body can't separate what's real and what's fake through sensory perception, in a sense. This is why we get scared when we're watching a movie, even though we know the movie is made up. We could have seen the movie and still get scared. Because the mind, the body, the frequencies that are entering it, it can't. You can tell yourself a million times, well, this is just a movie, this is just a movie. And you'll still get scared after you've allowed it to enter your conscious realm, because something within you starts to think. Remember, thinking, thoughts create your reality. Starts to think that, what if this was real? What if this did happen? Now you're sitting, you're thinking about it, you're pondering on it, you're seeing images from it. And we all know that mind over matter. So now, if you're on a grand scale of billions of people or millions of people have seen this movie and are all thinking, what if this will happen? Seeing it, there you have a collective reality that is being created or shaped. Now let me give this example because my time's getting short here. If we had a child, me or you, we lived off grid. They never seen a TV. They never seen a movie of the earth being destroyed. Variance. Whew. I'm not sure what this card means, but I feel like it has some relevance to this and it's very powerful. Healing. Poking out. So, mind you, variance look just is the same as expansion. So, with that being said, though, your kid never seen these things on TV, never experienced it, never watched it, never nothing. That would never be in their consciousness. So that would be a reality that they're never able to plug into because they've never seen this doom and gloom. They've never seen the earth being destroyed by fire, water, whatever the case may be. They've never seen this. Right? So they would never be able to plug into that reality. They would never be able to think that that was going to happen. In a sense, manifest it, right? Why is this conversation that me and you are having, why is this so important right now? Variance says, the differing perceptions of ego and soul, they're controlling your perception. Expansion, the knowledge that they're putting in you, that they're expanding your consciousness with, is controlling your perception. It says today you might not feel like yourself. You and your soul are looking at the same thing but are seeing it differently. Your emotions and reactions are a combination of your thoughts and your soul's thoughts. And when they don't align, you feel wobbly. Variance is a way of explaining the wobble. When you have the same perspective of your soul, things feel right. They may seem satisfactory and easy. No limiting beliefs or patterns are triggered. But there is a feeling that all is well. Your soul will never join you in judgment, blame, or hurt because it's not the truth of you. It is not the perspective of love. How you feel reveals how aligned you are with your soul. If you're experiencing something that doesn't feel quite right, take a breath and come back to your center. So